our behavior, we're less impulsive, less vulnerable to temptation, and more likely to plan our actions in advance. We're more certain of who we are and what we want, and we're therefore much less likely to feel that outside forces, such as other people, luck, or fate, control what happens to us. 3. Rely on routines. If I asked you to name the major causes of stress in your life, you'd probably cite deadlines, time-sucking meetings, a heavy workload, bureaucracy, and maybe even a controlling boss. You might not think to say, making decisions, because most of us aren't aware of this powerful and pervasive cause of stress in our lives. Yet every time you make a decision, which candidate to hire, when to ask your supervisor for help, whether to delegate a task, you create mental tension that is, in fact, stressful. So use routines to reduce the number of decisions you need to make. U.S. President Barack Obama, who has one of the most stressful jobs imaginable, takes this approach. Here's what he told Vanity Fair about it. "You'll see I wear only gray or blue suits. I'm trying to pare down decisions. I don't want to make decisions about what I'm eating or wearing, because I have too many other decisions to make. You need to focus your decision-making energy. You need to routinize yourself. You can't be going through the day distracted by trivia." If there's something you need to do every day, do it at the same time every day. Establish a ritual for preparing for work in the morning, for example. Perhaps you can check emails and voicemails and respond to the urgent ones first thing, which clears the decks and makes it easier to move more quickly to important projects. Set up a similar routine for packing up to go home at night. Once you've put less important decisions on autopilot, they'll stop weighing on you, and you'll free up your energy for things that matter more. 4. Do something interesting. Interest in an activity doesn't just keep you going despite fatigue, it actually replenishes your energy for whatever you'll do next. That's what Dustin Tommen, California State University, Jesse Smith, Montana State University, and Paul Sylvia, University of North Carolina at Greensboro, learned in a recent experiment. They gave participants a particularly draining task and then varied whether the next task was difficult but interesting or relatively easy but dull. The people who received the harder follow-up task put in more effort and performed much better, despite being tired, than those who worked on the easy one. Engagement restored their energy. In another study, the researchers found that interest resulted in better performance on a subsequent task as well. In other words, you won't just do a better job on Task A because you find Task A interesting. You'll do a better job on follow-up Task B because you found Task A interesting. The replenished energy flows into whatever you do next. So make time during your day for projects that fascinate you, for brainstorming, and for reading about exciting innovations in your field. All that will help you power through your less interesting but necessary tasks. Also, remember that interesting doesn't merely mean pleasant, fun, or relaxing. As the previously cited studies show, it's something that captivates you and requires effort. 5. Add when and where to your to-do list. Does a whole day, or even a week, often go by before you check a single item off your lengthy to-do list? Stressful, isn't it? To get things done in a timely manner, add a specific when and where to each task on your list. If-then planning can help you fill in those blanks. For example, call Bob becomes, if it's Tuesday after lunch, when, then I'll call Bob from my desk, where. Now that you've created an if-then plan for calling Bob, your unconscious brain will start scanning the environment.